Good morning, students. So, what we have learned till now, I hope that you remember whatever we have learned in our last class, like the functions. Okay. So, what do you remember? What are functions? Okay, we'll just revise it. It is a piece of code that helps us to do a particular task. Some functions are there which are intended to do some specific task, like for addition, we are using some addition task. For subtraction, we are doing some subtraction task. All these tasks are like small functions. They are intended to do some particular task. You can say that it also solves a particular task, and what it helps us that it saves you the time for writing a particular code again and again. It will You can just write the function name and you can call it any number of times. Have you seen have you seen it? Do you remember? And moreover, the redundancy is reduced like writing a particular code again and again. In this way, a lot of your time is reduced in writing the code. All this we have studied or discussed in our last class. Okay, so we will take it further. Now, what are the different functions type? There are two types in functions. One is built-in and built-in library or library function, and the other one is user-defined. Okay, so we'll talk about built-in functions. The built-in functions are those functions which are already there with the Python. Like for example, what the most important function that we have been using and rather we are all aware of it is the print function. It is, you can say, it is a kind of another function or the built-in function which is provided with the Python itself. The day the Python was born, you can say the printf was also born. So these are the function, these are the built-in functions which were there from the commencement of this Python program. And another function that are already built in is the append. We have used it in list. And another one is the round. You can see that here in the figure we can see that we are, when we are rounding up a particular digit to some specific decimal point, it will give you a particular number. Like 1.6 is when it is being rounded to the next higher decimal, it will give you to just 1.7. We are rounding it off to one digit, so it will give you 1.7. Now let us talk about the syntax of the function. The syntax of the function, as we are all aware of it, we will use the keyword define followed and it's followed with the function name, and the parameters would be given in the brackets, and the parameters are optional. We can also do away with the parameters without writing it also, and it will be followed by a set of statements. And what we need to remember is that the indentation that should be followed at all times while writing the functions, because this Python is well aware of this indentation. Without it, you will be meeting with errors, or the code will be likely to have lot of errors. And there, apart from built-in functions, what we have talked about is the user-defined functions. You can see that in the user defined function, we have the liberty of writing our own function name. Okay, so what will be the syntax? The syntax would be like define, we will be writing def and the name of the function, and then finally a set of statements as we have seen in the earlier slide. Okay, so here you can say that the name of your function is my underscore function. You can give another function or another name of your desired choice, but one thing you must remember, that whatever the name of the function should be given, it should be little logical, so that the someone who is reading through your program, he can just looking at your code can understand that what your code is doing. Now how, moving on to the next slide, now let us see that how the function call is being maintained. The function call, it will be, you can see, once the function is defined, it can be called again and again. We will calling the, we will, in the further slides we will be looking into how the function calls are being made, and later on slides where there is a built-in code. I have written the code for you. We'll look into the examples also. Now for the time being, you can say that the function is called by just calling simply writing up the function name with appropriate parameters. Like suppose, now here is one example for you. Now suppose you want to write out the square of a given number. So we are writing def square of a particular number, say n, and this is the, just see, it is for the users, and we'll see result is equal to n into n, and we'll print n into is equal to, followed we are here just putting what we need to type, and after that whatever the value there is there in res, it would be in this result, it would be just printed as such. And here we can say we are moving out of the function and we are writing num is equal to int, input and enter the number, and whatever number will be provided by the user, it will be passed on to this square. One thing you should remember, this square and this square should be the same, because this is the function name. You need to be careful about it, and the num is the value of the variable that is being passed, that will come from the user. Here is about the same thing. It is about the same program, and now if suppose if we want to pass more than one values, or your function would be returning more than two values, we are all aware of the quadratic equation, like say, like something x1 will be equal will be given by minus b square root of root over is b square minus 4ac whole divided by 2a. Here you can see that it is returning x1 and x2. X1 and x2 are the values of the variable, that quadratic x1 and x2. Okay, here it is the code, and let us see one example, because the presentation is limited to 10 minutes. I have to help you out through the examples. Okay. Okay, now we'll run through the code very fast. Here you can see that it is the same thing, number one. Okay, and you see it is giving the output, and here you can see again it is here giving you the output 20 and 30. Okay, thank you very much. We will be meeting again in the next session.